Hi again, I'm Mark, welcome back to Three Bridges. Another update on the layout in the loft. So this week I've been over to, I call it ScotRail just because that's how you get there, but it's, I'll find the proper name for it. It's a show over in Glasgow. It was great, saw lots of layouts and got a few bits I needed. I did leave my list at home, which is a bit infuriating, but anyway. So it's the weekend of the Rails of Scotland. So one of the things I went to get was bits to go on my goods yard just to fill it up. So I've got some more pallet trucks. I remember these electric tugs from my childhood and early days at work, whizzing around the sites. And then I hadn't seen these ones before, so they're bags of cement, so I'll look forward to painting them up. And I also stumbled across Rusty Rails and their 3D printed stuff, so I got a few bits. I hadn't come across these before, so good to give them a try. And I managed to get some of the railings so I can finish off the platform ends at Harrow on the Hill, along with the anti-trespass grids. I don't know if we had these in the 80s, to be honest. I'm trying to remember back. I just remember you was usually a sign saying no go beyond this point, but anyway, these days these things are everywhere. However, the main reason for going to Rails of Scotland was to have a look at some of the freight stock that people were running on the layouts, just to get some ideas for myself. So my area is sort of, I suppose, late 70s, mainly 80s, and then there will be a sort of the 20 teens into the 2020s, a sort of a more later rail freight, which is easy to do, but it was the earlier stuff that I was not so sure about. So picked up a couple of wagons from, this is Harborne Hobbies in Edinburgh's stand, and these are quite a good price. And also managed to pick up this nice Bachmann Class 47. It was literally a minute a minute of deciding, and decided to go for it. So it's about 110 and it runs really lovely. It's pretty much immaculate, so I don't even think it's second-hand stock, but I don't think it's ever really been run by the previous owner. So pleased with that. So I'll get that running a bit later on, and it's given me a few ideas for the freight. So this is the freight where I want to run from the goods yard that I have as my little shunting puzzle up to the second level. Been doing a little bit more in front of the office block I had at the back of Harrow on the Hill, so put in a whole bit of fencing, the iron railings, and then towards this side I've sort of got the embankment in and the start of the trees. So the next thing to do is work on the track side cabling that I'm going to have running along this bit of wall here. So previously I'd been using the TimServe trackside cabling, but you can't get it anymore, or at least I can't find anybody who produces it. So, but I was digging around on the internet and I came across this stuff. So they do slightly different range of products, but it will still work with what I want to do. So, and theirs is freestanding, which is easier to arrange. So I've got this, and then I also went for a load of other stuff I need to paint up. So I've got packing cases, wooden crates, for my goods station. So I was really impressed by these. So they're really well made, and I think it's just a very small one guy. But yeah, it was really great to find I can sort of carry on with the trackside cabling for the London Underground. Definitely worth checking it out. Sunday mornings, always doing a bit of painting when it's nice and early. The light's good, and working on the cabinets. So they've got a base green, and then I'll give them a bit of a silver spray, and the trackside cabling, and enjoying a bit of Will Park, which is always interesting to see what he's up to. Well, back to the scratch building again. So the scalpel, the ruler, and the pen and card. So this is, I need to finish off the back wall behind the goods yard entrance, and then where the road needs to pass underneath Station Bridge Road by Harrow on the Hill. So I've sort of knocked up this structure quite quickly on the card. It's nothing complicated, but I want to have that sort of girder bridge that I sort of like, I'm familiar with seeing. So that's the basis of it. I'll work on it a bit more and then show you it up in the loft. I've been wondering about the colour for the girders, and travelling over recently on the M8, I spotted this bridge, which is seems like the perfect inspiration to create something that's just not really looked after very well. As always, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I certainly enjoyed myself in painting up these little bits from Bristol Wagon Works, and the names escaped me, but I'll stick it up on the screen. And the new train runs really nicely, so really pleased with that. Nice addition. More on Harrow on the Hill, I think, just getting some signs and the rest of the cabling in, and then the next big area to work on is going to be this blank section here. So this is where, south of Station Road Bridge at Harrow on the Hill, I need to carry on, do the scenics for the track, think about third and fourth rail. People always ask about it for the underground. The Pico third and fourth rail don't really work with the EFE trains. They work on the outer, but the inner ones just fouls on the underside of the train, so you have to sort of sink the rails almost on top of the sleepers to make it work, and that's on the flat. I've got inclines. Anyway, I've got another idea I'll give a go for a bit of it, but it's mainly going to be the back scene that I'll introduce you to next time. It'll be in a couple of weeks. I'm going to go back to an episode every couple of weeks because it's getting lighter. There's a lot more to do outside as it's getting spring, so less time for model railway at the moment, but I'm going at the pace I'm quite enjoying. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll catch you next time. Cheers.